Welcome into College Corner today, Thursday, conference tournaments. Moving on to the next day, we're looking to get in on our 3 favorite bets. I've got a total, 2 sides for Thursday in college hoops. Can't have a recap for you from yesterday. I know as I'm recording this, we're 1-0, but it's still early. These lines got out, so I thought, let's get a video together. Let's make sure we're ready for Thursday in college basketball. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to let me know. Drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and of course, let me know what your favorite bet is today or some teams you think are going to win their conference tournaments. We're live on Twitch every day at noon, so if you guys haven't been checking that out, lines at lunch, I got the merch right here. Come check us out on Twitch, OwnersBox Sports on Twitch. But let's get to the plays. We're starting in the Big West in a matchup between Cal State Fullerton and Hawaii. The total set at 126. I'm a sicko. I like the under 126. It's a very low number, but this total would have gone under in both of their matchups this season if it wasn't for overtime in the, I believe it was the first one. The most recent matchup, they scored just 108 points. These are 2 teams that are very good defensively, not so good offensively, which we'll get into. It's honestly kind of laughable how bad they are offensively, but pace-wise, very slow. First thing you want to look to is what kind of pace do these teams play at? Hawaii ranks 325th in pace, Cal State Fullerton 307th. So very, very slow here. And offensively, they're shooting a horrific 43% from the field. So you want to talk about a great combination. It's a team that is slow, and it's a team that can't make their shots. That's a recipe for the under. But as well, when we're looking at the defenses that I mentioned are very good, Hawaii, elite defense. I actually put a future on them to win this conference tournament, so really need them in this one. Hawaii is the 6th ranked defense in adjusted efficiency from KenPom, so very, very good there. And then Cal State Fullerton can force some turnovers, which is good, top 60 in turnover rate. Hawaii's had some problems, so that's a great thing to do as well. If you see a possession run late into the shot clock and then not even getting a shot up, that is a under bettor's dream in college basketball. But again, I'm thinking I'd give maybe Air Bud a better chance at making some of these shots than these go-to guys for each of these teams. Jovan McClanahan for Hawaii is the guy with the highest usage rate, and he is shooting 41% from the field, the 5'10 guard for the Rainbow Warriors. And then Jalen Harris leads the way for Cal State Fullerton in usage. He is shooting 36.6% from the field. So these teams, incredibly inefficient offensively, really good defensively, can force some turnovers, and as well, like I mentioned, pace is very slow. So I love taking the under on this game, 126. This game's at 5:30 on Thursday, so be sure to lock this one in before you leave the office. Let's head over to Conference USA. We're early in the tournament here, and a matchup between Charlotte and Middle Tennessee. Charlotte, at the time here, a very short favorite, just +1 they're at right now. I like them +1. I'd take them on the money line as well. It's probably what I'll be locking in here. In these 2 matchups between these 2 teams, they split them. Charlotte won by 15 at home, and then on the road at Middle Tennessee, they lost by 4. So nothing too much to take away from those matchups, but I love how these teams, in terms of what Charlotte does offensively and what Middle Tennessee does offensively. I love how these 2 teams, from the Charlotte side especially, what they can do to slow the Blue Raiders down here. So Charlotte taking 41% of their shots from 3, which is at a top 80 rate in the country. Very good, efficient team from 3, shooting almost 37%. Really good there. And Middle Tennessee has struggled immensely this season. They're one of the worst teams in college basketball in 3-point defense, 292nd. Just to give you perspective here, there's like 364 teams in college hoops in Division I, so have not been good. Blue Raiders offensively, though, like to attack inside. 54% of their points are coming from the interior. Charlotte actually has a good interior defense, despite the fact you usually see 3-point shooting teams that maybe are a little undersized, and that's why you see that higher volume. But they got the 6'11 Ali Khalifa that's been great in defending around the rim and defending the interior. This is a Blue Raiders team that is, although they do attack inside, they aren't a very sizable team. Charlotte's done a good job from 2. Opponents shooting 49% from 2. Which is a good number there. And then as well, great job protecting the rim on any missed opportunities from opposing offenses. They're a top 15 team in defensive rebounding this season. So love to see that as well. Just a few more things that are added into my analysis here. Middle Tennessee has a bit of a propensity to turn the ball over. Charlotte takes care of the ball. Middle Ten is 284th in turnover rate this season on offense. I like what is there. And then as well, in a very tight game, a 1-point spread, one that Vegas projects to be fairly close, Give me the team that's better at the free throw line, and Charlotte is a lot better. They're shooting almost 75% from the free throw line. Meanwhile, Middle Tennessee, just over 67%. That might not seem like a huge gap of about 7%, but the difference between being in the mid-60s and being in the mid-70s in a game that's this tight and could potentially see a number of fouls if anyone in the last couple minutes is a few points away, I like taking the team that's better at the line. So give me Charlotte +1 or on the money line, whichever you prefer in the Conference USA tourney. Last one we're going to, probably my favorite play today. It's TCU. You can get them at -2. If you get them anywhere -130 or lower on the money line, I'd be happy to back them there. I believe it might have been DraftKings has them around -130 or -125. So feel free to lock them in at the money line as well, but happy to take -2. Each of these teams at home came away with some blowout victories. So what are we going to see on a neutral site? Well, I think looking at the advanced numbers in terms of how these teams play offensively and defensively will give us an idea of who should be favored and who should win this game. I'm taking TCU. Again, -2. Biggest reason here is going to be what Kansas State does defensively. The biggest thing to look for, Mike Miles and Damian Baugh for TCU, they're two players that attack the free throw line at will, and Kansas State has really struggled in that category. 300th for a team that's been this good this season. That is the place you want to be able to score if you're going to beat this team, and that is what TCU does very, very well. And as well for Kansas State, they've been a team that's been elite defending from the three, but TCU is a team that just solely attacks on the interior. They're one of the lowest volume three-point shooting teams in the country. The Wildcats still good from 2. They're 144th, so a little bit better than the average, but in a team like this from TCU that's very efficient from 2 and has been able to score inside very successfully, I think this is a matchup offensively that really favors the Horned Frogs there. On the other side of the ball, Kansas State struggles with turnovers quite a bit, 280th in the country in turnovers. TCU is a top 25 team in forcing turnovers. Those extra possessions in a game with a short spread are going to be huge, and the Frogs do a good job taking care of the ball. So although Kansas State turns it over, they can force some turnovers, but if a team's doing a good job taking care of the ball, they're not going to get those possessions back. That's going to be a big difference in the short spread as well. Kansas State, another team that gets to the line quite a bit. The 5'10" Marquise Knoll is a big factor there. He leads the team in free throw attempts this season. But TCU, the sizable group that they have that will be missing Eddie Lampkin, does a good job keeping opponents off the free throw line, well above the top half of the country in opponent free throw attempts per field goal. So love the matchup there on both sides of the ball. I really like this TCU team. I know they're missing Lampkin. That could be a problem here to be able to make a run in the tournament, but this particular matchup was one I was looking at when I saw this bracket as something I want to target in this opening round. So TCU -2 or on the money line, if you want to be a little bit safer, is something I definitely think you need to be locking in. Wrapping things up, we are on the Hawaii Cal State Fullerton under 126, Charlotte +1 against Middle Tennessee, and TCU -2 against Kansas State. A great week of conference tournament games here. We're dropping content and picks every single day. The college basketball is going on here in these conference tournaments. We'll have a bracket breakdown for Selection Sunday as well. If you guys enjoy the video, be sure to let me know. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment down below with your thoughts on these picks, these conference tournaments, who's going to win them, who's going to win today, who's going to cover the spread. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you on the next one.